She got out of it.
Hey, welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry.
And tonight we're going to actually be talking about marathons and I know, half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, all the fun stuff. And I have my daughter as a guest. We're going to introduce her in a minute. But first, I wanted to share that Haspel's, my friend Wendy, they're having an event at Chris's Specialty Meat on Highland tomorrow night. And it is at, is it with Dad? I can't see from that far. What time?
It's Thursday the 22nd, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
And they're gonna have all kind of stuff. I think they're gonna have like whiskey. Is that what it says? Whiskey and wine,
food giveaways,
and seersucker suits. My mom wants my dad to go so bad, and Dad doesn't like getting dressed up and all the things. But
I'll consider running for office, and then I'll have to have a seersucker suit.
that's right. That's right. So, but anyways, love seersucker suits. So if you can get out there, please. Look, Wendy said, please come by. It's 6 to 8. Thank you.
6 to 8.
I can see you typing. I can't see the small writing over there. But yeah, so he needs to come. I'm going to drag my husband in over there too. I think so. So, anyways, and you should bring Ryan.
We wore seersucker suits for our wedding.
Oh, Wendy, that's true. Lindsay's wedding. All the guys wore seersucker suits in her
suits.
It was beautiful.
It was in June.
It was in June, and they had the little sunflower and little cotton as the boot.
Cotton.
The boutonniere.
And
it was so
yellow
cute.
bow ties that were monogrammed. It was so cute.
Look, fitting for suits. Come by, Harold.
Whoa.
Oh gosh. Okay, so my guest is Lindsay.
Hi.
Say hi. And we're gonna kind of be talking about actually this all kind of happened this weekend, and my dad started talking about running. My dad ran a marathon, Lindsay ran a half. And Lindsay's always ran.
Yeah, I was gonna say I ran on the college level, so it's
yeah, she ran on the college level.
I ran through a college campus one time.
yeah, Dad did. So,
we just got on the topic because I had turned 35. Last week was my birthday. And I'm very goal oriented. And I said, what can I accomplish now that I'm 35? Because I'm halfway to 40.
Yep.
And so I thought about Papa. I said, you know what? I should run a marathon.
These two are very goal oriented. A marathon, and Lindsay, I have to say you did like a 10K. You ran in college, and then you did a 10, and you did the fast stuff in college. You were at 800 and the 4x4,
but I still did cross country.
You did cross country,
and let's not forget the steeplechase here.
Yeah. The steeplechase, what a nightmare that was.
If you want to come close to death, run the steeplechase.
Yeah. Well, we thought she was going to be great at it because she was a gymnast and stuff.
Meters of suffering.
Yeah, that was terrible.
And a water pit.
Yeah, that was not good.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she has continued her running and continued to do that. She actually, I never really, I ran some when I was young, when just being spastic and running around outside. But I never really ran. I ran a race with my dad. What was that, Dad? The Girls on the Run.
Girls on the Run. It was local.
Yeah, we did that.
Out there.
Yeah, how many years ago was that, you think?
That's a while back. I don't know how far ago.
That was before I graduated college in 2013.
Because you came and cheered me on.
Yeah, it was before 13. So maybe 11 or 12.
Yeah, so we did that. And then, which I did the couch to 5K to get ready for that. And then
and trained with me in the summer.
And every summer when Lindsay would come home from college, she would
I had summer workouts.
She had summer workouts that she had to do. So I would do them with her. I would not do them like she does them, but I would kind of do the summer workout. Now, let's remember, I was 10? No, oh my gosh, I was like way younger than I am now.
Decades.
You're all way younger.
Decades.
Yeah. But so, and other thing I have to say about this, Lindsay, you did run your first half marathon after chemo and all the things. That's
that's why I did it.
That's why she did. Look, here's the pictures. What a beast.
Yeah.
She did not let that get in her way.
It was just something I wanted to say I could do. Okay. I wanted to get back to running, and I still ran while I was going through chemo.
You did. They told you to stop because you had a port.
Sister Dulcie fussed at me.
Yeah.
And told me that my heart was going through enough and I needed to calm down.
Yeah.
So
How
I
far is
guess
it?
if Jesus says I have to calm down, then I had to listen. But as soon as I finished treatment, had my surgery, and I got the clear, I started training again. I ran a 10K in February with my best friend, Allie Fontenot. That was the first time we got to race together again since college,
Yeah,
which was really fun.
It was so fun watching them run
Because
together.
he ran at Northwestern, I ran at Southeastern. And so for cross country, a lot of times in cross country, we would
Run into each other.
run into each other in races and laugh. And she'd be like, no, you go. And I'd be like, no, you go. And it was just fun. So, anyways, we were like, let's do a race together. So we ran a 10K, and I yelled at her the whole time because she hadn't really trained, and I was in pretty good shape. I had been running on my own a good bit, and anyways, so we ran that race together, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for the half. I knew the full would probably be too big of a goal for the time because I was still adjusting to medicine and things like that. So I said, okay, I can run a half. I have a really good base. Like I could go out and run probably, 6 or 7 miles. Just mentally I can pace myself and do it. So I said, I can run a half, no problem. So I went out, and I think it was in April, I ran the half marathon in Lafayette. It was I forgot the name of it. It wasn't Festival International, but it was some kind of festival something, half marathon. They also have the full. Anyways, it was cool. You went through the Saint streets.
Right.
Y'all all came.
Yeah.
My in-laws are from Lafayette, so my family was there as well. They're Ryan's family. So it was fun. The kids were there to cheer me on. They got to see me do it. So yeah, I
It's
did
fun to have people in the crowd.
yeah, to see you. And when you're not like taking it as serious as college, it's okay to have people cheer for you.
Because Lindsay can't have fun in college.
No.
But anyways,
Well, she may not have had fun all the time, but she certainly did well.
she set the record in the 800. And I got to tell you something funny. Mom turned the TV down. I'm sorry. My mom has the TV up every single time. We can hear it through the walls. Anyways, we were at a baseball game this past weekend, or what was it? And I was like, oh, I read your record got beat at Southeastern.
No.
And I was like, oh, the name, it was a boy, but but I thought it was
I
a
was
girl.
so offended.
I thought it was a girl name, but I was like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody beat your record. But Lindsay is still the record.
For 12 years now.
Yeah, at for the 800
800 at Southeast.
So she had a good run over there. But anyways, all that being said, we've all had our little runs and done that. And I trained, not a big trainer. We did do one at 5K with Bethany, which I did not train for, and just went out.
I crushed that.
You did.
So I was actually one of the coaches that coached at U High with me, Pat Fellows. He's a big time Ironman runner.
Mm-hmm.
And Nellie, I, and Pat I was coaching at U High at the time. And so I was running with the kids, training with the kids at high school level. And then Pat would train me a little bit on the side. So when I actually ran that 5K, bursting with speed, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
I wanted to say something for
Bursting
them.
with speed. That's an awesome race.
That
to
is
go
a good
to.
race.
Everyone needs to do that race. But bursting with speed 5K, I think I ran what was it? A 1930 something for the 5K. I mean, and this is like after 2 kids and everything. So I was cruising. I remember finishing that race and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to throw up. What am I doing?
Oh my God. I don't know what my time was because I wasn't in shape. But anyway.
Yeah, I cruised. That was a fun race.
That was fun. But Dad is the only one out of the old person. And
out of all of us.
And Dad was 65, right?
Yeah, I was.
He ran the whole marathon.
And let me tell you, I was working at LSU, and a good colleague in the office next to me was, talking about stuff, and he was saying that he was thinking about it. He had never done a marathon before. And I said, you got to be kidding, So he was like maybe 20 years younger than I was, at least. And but in another couple of months, he convinced me that I really ought to go try it. So we started very, very early. The race we ran in was the second Louisiana Marathon in 2013. And I started working on that in June or earlier to try to get ready because I knew it would take me a long time to get fit for that. So and you can see a picture of me here running, waving high. That is at right around mile 18, which was when my watch broke and fell off.
Oh God, Dad! I remember we were there watching you.
Yes, you were. You were on
We
that
all had
corner.
to go to different
Right.
locations to see you at different times.
And you can see me finishing. I'm raising my hands here gloriously, and then I'm getting consoled by Margaret. I'm starting to feel the effects of the distance. But at about that 18-mile mark is when it started to have a big effect on me. And I was telling Lindsay the other day that the problem is that the weather was just too nice. It was like 28 degrees before the race, and it never got above 50 the whole race. And it was just like, wow, this is such good weather. So I had trained rigorously, knew exactly how fast I was supposed to run, and then ran faster for 18 miles. And then after that, it was real struggle, because they all talk about the wall, which is somewhere in the 18 to 22 mile range, where it feels like you can't go any further, and I hit it a little early because I just went out too fast. So I was cautioning Lindsay. I said, you got to watch the good weather syndrome.
Yeah.
Because if it's really pretty, it really is hard to follow your pace. But it was a great deal of fun, and I could say I chopped that off my bucket list. I ran a marathon, and I was telling Lindsay that I use the Galloway plan, which is run, walk, run, which means you're not trying to run the whole race. You're running and then walking and then running and then walking and so forth. And it's been demonstrated that I think his success rate is 98% of people who went out with that program, did his training, 98% finished the race. So that was my goal, was to finish standing up.
Well, you did, and you did great.
It was
So
fun.
you want to tell everybody? Well, I guess maybe we can get to that in a minute, but so I guess you do have to kind of have a plan.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to talk to
No.
both of y'all about. So you kind of have to have like 5K, not so
I
much.
run a 5K
Yeah.
right now.
I mean, you can kind of if I have a lot of pretty things to look at, I can do a 5K. When I go to the beach, I can do a 5K.
10K mental
10K,
is mental.
I can't.
You can.
Well, I haven't done a 10K yet. I haven't
But
done that.
it's just mental.
But we were all talking about let's do. Well, I can't do a marathon.
She's already decided she's not doing it.
I know. No. So here's the thing.
She's not consistent with anything. Here's the thing.
Right.
I'm just not real consistent of a person.
If it's too cold, too hot, it's rainy, you are not catching her in the streets.
Yeah.
You're not doing it. And then if she gets on the treadmill, she's going to say, oh, my knees hurt. So we
understand. We understand.
Yeah. So the thing is, I said, well, maybe I'll do like my first 10K. You know what I mean? Like I
Sure.
could push myself to do that.
Right.
I just know me. I'm never going to commit to that length of a run. I'm just not. But y'all can. So,
well, I think I should go out for the marathon. I think football should go out for the half.
or the 10K either.
No, half. He hasn't done a half. He has to check that one off the bucket list.
That's a good point, because I have 2 T-shirts from 2 half marathons that I paid for but didn't run.
There you go.
There you go. I mean, but so
There you go.
the whole reason we kind of wanted to do this too is like, what do you do?
Accountability.
But what do you do to get ready for, like, Dad, I know you ran the marathon. I know you ran the half. What do you do? I know, Dad, put up your thing. You have a blog.
Yeah, let me show you what I
Yeah.
have here. I started a blog called Time Lapse Runner, and the name is interesting because it's like, I'm going to go so slow, you're going to have to use time lapse photography to watch me move. So that's why I call it the Time Lapse Runner. But I wrote a blog because I wanted to track the journey and learn from it, and they're all little pieces. You can go out there, if you search Time Lapse Runner blogspot, you'll find it. And I wrote 100 posts over the time of training for the marathon, and I went into an awful lot of detail. How to hydrate, just everything on that. And then, of course, I misbehaved on the day of the race, so I threw some of it out. But the challenge is going to be for many marathoners is getting enough time to do the training. Because if you do the Galloway plan, he has you going at least 24 miles 3 weeks before the race. I went 26 and a half miles 3 weeks before the race. So I did like a full marathon plus a few hundred yards 3 weeks before. And the good thing about that is, of course, that when you finish that, well, I know how to do this. This can be done. I've done it already. But finding 5 hours to go out and run, jog, run, walk, run is not easy for everybody, especially if you got a family and a job and all this other kind of stuff. So that's probably the biggest challenge. Galloway does it real nicely. I think you really have like 3 days of jogging a week. But one of them's real long. Okay, it gets longer and longer. So it's not like you're going out 6 or 7 days a week. So the chances of getting hurt are lower. And so more people have a chance of actually doing the race. So anyway, if someone wants to go out there and look at that, I've got all these posts out there, and just goes into everything. I also have a 90-second video of fast action going through the entire Louisiana Marathon course, all 26 miles of it. We put the camera, I was taking the video and Margaret was driving the car, and we went through the entire race. Actually, there's a couple of spots we couldn't get to, but we went through the whole race. So you can see what the Baton Rouge version of the marathon looks like.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So getting the long runs in is probably as hard as anything.
Yeah. So Lindsay, what did you do to prepare for the half?
Run.
You just ran.
I didn't really have a plan. I have a horrible tendency to challenge my own self when I go run. And so I'd say, okay, I need to hit, 7 or 8 miles today. Well, I would end up, I do these things to myself where I do like progression runs. So I stay controlled the first mile, and then I go faster. And I go faster and I go faster to where like by mile 8 or 9, I'm in like a full 7:20 pace.
That's not good.
7-minute run. So anyways, I say that to say that's how I would train my speed. I sometimes when I go on long runs get bored. So I find myself
speeding up.
Let me sprint to the light pole. Oh, I can hold that pace. Let me do it again. So that's my problem. I don't know how I can control myself. Now, I did I don't know where my splits are. For my half marathon, I stayed true to my plan. I don't know if that's like the cross country and conditioning.
Yeah, remember that?
From college. I watched my watch, and it was a beautiful day, like he said, and I said, no, I'm going to stick. I have to be comfortable pace. And man, I finished the half marathon like I wasn't in pain or
right.
No, I was
cruising in. It was totally not anything stressful for me at all.
We went and ate breakfast
We
after.
went and ate breakfast after.
She was fine.
So that's
Finishing standing up is good, but being able to walk after that's also good.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I was like, and you were doing great. I remember seeing a few times, and you were doing great. I mean,
I was fine. I stayed like a 9:20 pace. I think it was I finished in like 2 hours. So
right, 2 hours.
2 hours. So I think I was like a 9:20, 9:30 was like my true pace. But then like when I knew I only had 3 miles left, I started progressing and picking up. I think I actually finished under 9 or something, because I remember thinking to myself, I can go faster, and just finishing out the last 3 cruising. But again, the course that I ran was a flat course in Lafayette. It wasn't too hilly or anything.
Except for that one neighborhood y'all went into.
The one neighborhood was a little hilly, but it really wasn't that bad. So I enjoyed it. It was really fun. I'd never done a race that long in my life. It reminded me a little bit of cross country. I remember Ryan bringing me to the race that morning, and he was like, "You're insane," because it was freezing cold.
I remember that. We were cold.
It was pitch black because I got out on the course early, and then I didn't really see everyone until the sun rose.
Yeah,
whatever. But that's my most favorite times, or my most favorite thing about running is like the quiet hours when no one else is around or watching.
Yep.
And I'm like, I always used to say when I was in college, that's where champions are made. And I would tell my kids that is when no one's watching, and the quiet hours of you training on your own, that's when champions are made. because it's, are you going to run? Are you going to walk? And I'm always challenging myself when no one's watching. And so I liked that aspect of it. And then, of course, it was fun when you started seeing people. And, Lafayette is a big like art community and music, and there was fun things around every corner. And so
It was so much fun. Like
it
while
was
you were
fun.
running, there was
Yeah.
all kind of things
all
going
kind of
on.
things going on. So I just was like, you know what? I feel like for 35, it's a big, like, I'm 5 years out cancer free. I'm 35. I'm halfway to 40. Okay, what can I do now to challenge myself? So it will be a challenge if I do take it on, because I am going to be teaching full time, and I'm still going to be athletic director. And that's pretty much a full time job. I have 2 people, Carter and Pearl, who are beyond full-time jobs, and then my husband is also a full-time job.
Yeah, I
So
don't know how she's going to do it.
I think,
But she's got Honey, the Wonder Woman, who helps.
well, I think that running will be my time of, that's what I enjoy.
No, that's
And a
always
lot of
been like
times,
that
too,
for
the
you.
kids, I throw them on the bikes, and I'm like, you have to go. You're either biking with me 4 miles, or Carter will sometimes, I'll make him run the first mile, and then he hops on his bike for the last 3. But it can be a family affair. Carter's running cross country for the first time this year, and I'm very excited about that.
That's a life skill.
It's a life skill. It's what I always say.
That's something you can do for the rest of your life.
Right. So I don't know. I really want to do it. I really think Papa should do it with me. And Peanut talked about she wanted to do it. She got out of having to be here tonight.
No, so Peanut said she wants to do it
But
with
it has to be some type of vacation for her. She wants to do it in some Nashville, or she looked at the Sonoma in California and all the
it's a
things.
destination marathon.
Right. Right.
That's, but like
Well, make it Maui then.
They have the Maui Ocean Front Run.
Right.
But Peanut does want, she's a neuro nurse, so she works nights and all that. So it's going to be.
Oh, I just said he's in for the half.
Oh, yeah.
I do not believe that for a second.
This trainer.
No.
There you go.
So wait. So
Troy, go get me a water. You're going to train him to go get you water.
No, but no. So I want to just tell you this. For people like me that aren't as, like, y'all are really good at this and stuff, but like you can get an app on your phone. I want everybody to know that you have that. What is it
Count to 5K.
It's called it's K25 or something. I don't know what it is, or CK25. I don't know. It's on my phone. But anyways, you can download that, and that can train you to run a 5K, and then you can run a 10K. It has the next one. So, I mean, that's a good place to start if you haven't ran, I think. It's a great place to start. And I think that you got to get that under your belt maybe before you can run.
I mean, just start small, right?
Don't you think, Dad? You have to start small.
Well, a good thing is that, I mean, people are realistic here in the South, and they don't run long races during the summer.
It's hot.
Sometimes you find a 2-miler. That's kind of what they do during the hottest part of the summer. And then as soon as the fall's starting to get near, the 5Ks start showing
Oh,
up.
yeah, they do.
And then as you get towards November, then the 10Ks start showing up, and so forth. And they usually reserve the halves and fulls to sometime between, mid and late December all the way through March. Because, if it's, you got to remember, when you get out and you start running, it is now 20 degrees hotter than the temperature.
Yep.
And so if it's 80, then it's 100 when you're
really.
So I don't know how those Olympic people do it, because they do it like July, and it's just crazy doing that. And I was riding my bike this morning, and I'm sitting here and I'm riding my bike, and I'm going about 12 miles an hour. Okay, well, 12 miles an hour is it's 5 minutes for a mile or something like that. Is that right? I'm going to 12 miles an hour, 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. And I'm sitting here riding my bike, and I'm realizing that the guys that run the marathon professionally run faster than I'm going right now.
Oh my gosh.
And they do that for 26.385 meters run. It's crazy. It's just unbelievable. So, I got on ChatGPT and I said, okay, what's the chances of a 78-year-old man not getting picked up on a sweet bus in a marathon.
What did it say?
Yeah, well, it said, ooh. It says your current walking pace of 18 minutes a mile is not going to cut it. You might want to look for a race that doesn't have a sweet bus. So then I started feeding it some optimistic things like, well, I think I can go faster than that, and back in the day, my magic mile was, 7 minutes and 38 seconds and so forth. I said, oh, well, maybe you're a little bit better off. You have a moderate chance now of actually finishing the race. The thing that worries me the most, I'm not intimidated by the challenge itself. How would I get all those hours to do all of the runs is a thing. But in the last 5 years, I've fallen 3 times. Okay, I've fallen twice doing runs and once off the bike. And the last one I went in for surgery. So it's like, you got to be careful out there. And
Dad, I don't know if you should do it then.
you're not as steady as you were when you were 40. Okay.
No, I don't.
It's worth the risk.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Check the box.
Do you know that was hard?
It's fun living life on the edge.
Yeah, I mean,
But I'm not afraid of doing it. But I really I don't want to break a leg or break an arm or break a head, anything like that.
no.
So, but I'm not So right now, what I'm doing is I'm just doing biking 3 times a week, and I go out for 30 to 45 minutes, and just to get some leg strength and to build balance and stuff like that. But I'm mildly intrigued by the thought of running it.
I know. We'll have to figure. You'll have to figure. And even like we were talking, like say that you don't want to do a marathon or a half. Like you can do the 10 with me if I do the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10K is definitely doable.
Yeah, it's doable.
Yeah.
I mean, I started running this
Mommy,
week.
why are you talking him off of the half marathon? He's not gonna get hurt.
Don't want her to get
No,
Although the half is even approachable because you're not going to have a wall to worry about. I mean, you may be tired.
it's right into it.
just a half. I don't know. What's the whole?
13 miles.
13.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could do 13. I don't know if I can. I can't do anything for 2 hours straight.
What they
Gary, what makes you think you're gonna finish in 2?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Believe me, yeah.
3. Oh my God. I know. 3. I'm not doing it. No, I'm not. I'm just not doing. How long?
The good thing about 1.5 in a full race is that you don't get picked up by the sweep.
Correct.
That's more than 6 hours.
Right. What about the 10K? How far is that?
6.2 miles.
Correct.
We got that.
You got that. He's doing the half.
Yeah.
That's a good. That's a good run. That is a good run.
But they're not challenging yourself.
That is such a challenge. I just want to be able to have the rest of my day to enjoy.
The faster you run, the faster you're done. That's what I told
Yeah,
kids.
Darren's saying you got jokes.
Yeah. No,
You're right
the
there.
thing is, it's and not everybody picks the same challenge, but everybody
I just
knows by doing something that's a challenge.
right. Yeah, I don't know how you can't not want to. Like, I'm constantly thinking of like, what can I do now that I did? So after I ran the half, I said I want to do CrossFit. I had always wanted to do CrossFit.
That was the worst idea ever.
Oh my gosh.
Chemo. Oh, I'm going to go do
So
CrossFit.
I went and did
Way to go.
CrossFit for a year, and I enjoyed it, and it was awesome, and I was deadlifting, and it was just something I needed to prove to myself that I had my arm strength back. I was doing pull-ups. I was doing things like that. So I'm always looking for like the next, what can I chase next?
The next, yeah, I know, but that's you.
Because they have ultra marathons where you run 50 or 100 miles.
I've never heard of that. Have you, Dad?
Yes.
I had a friend or colleagues that worked, and he ran centuries. 100-mile races.
100-mile races.
And
you run through the night.
Yeah,
Okay, wait.
yeah.
I have to say something real quick because I know Wendy's on here. I want her to know this. But my friend Shannon Alexander got a kidney transplant on last Friday. She just texted me, and I just think that I need to, because we had Lopa on, and I had been praying for her. She just texted me, so I wanted to announce that. And so everybody just keep praying that she's okay, that the kidney takes and all that. But yeah, she just texted me.
Good
So,
for her.
anyways, I'm sorry that was off the subject, but people who are watching can pray for her.
Yes.
So, anyway,
We will. I wanted to show this. Here's like one of my almost last posts, and it's it's just a piece of cheap metal.
oh,
And
it's
a t-shirt, right?
a
No.
t-shirt.
So but there's a lot of really
Yeah, but life lessons are learned in those grueling miles.
yeah, that's right.
Life lessons.
Darren, you need to run with us. Let's see if
That would
he'll-
be so entertaining.
I mean, you run with us. He can do the 6 with me, the 6-mile one.
Oh, he can challenge himself more.
And get Allison too.
Well, they tell you, and I think anybody that's of age, and that would be me, and that would be perhaps Honey as well, and that would be make sure that your doctor thinks it's okay for you to train and do something
Yeah.
like this, because if you're not in good health, it wouldn't be a good idea.
Right.
But of course, none of us are in the shape we'd love to be in. So, but that takes time, and you do that slowly. But anyway, Darren's interested.
You've sparked his interest.
Let's go.
Start training with Lindsay.
Yeah.
Get a whole team put together. But I identify with your remark, Lindsay, that I did a number of training runs with friends and some groups and so forth during that 6 or 8 months. But I enjoyed the running by myself more than anything else. And,
Yeah.
I could focus on what I was doing. I didn't have to worry about talking or carrying on a conversation, and that. But I don't mind being alone, so it was
Same.
a good thing.
Dad, do you listen to music when you're running?
I used to when I first started, and then I didn't want to ever again after that.
Really?
Yeah,
You get to a point. Well, I know if I run in the mornings, I don't listen because I'm just too nervous.
right.
And then I had a fox. I ran in with a fox the other morning. And it was so funny because right after I ran in with the fox, now the fox was more scared of me than I was of it, but there was a post on social media like that same day. It was a funny coincidence that someone was running early morning. I'm part of a bunch of running groups, and a coyote attacked a girl while she was running.
Stick when you run, or a
Running with
taser.
a stick. Them old people walking with sticks. I'm one of those
At least
people.
mace or bear spray or something.
I got on Amazon and I have in my cart some mace.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, I need to have something.
But always have like a branch.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, really,
Listen.
dogs will, you don't never know when somebody's just going to leave it off the leash and create a little bit of havoc.
Right. A dog, a coyote,
Yeah.
a fox.
Yeah.
The branch is not going to save you.
Well, you know what? Last night, I mean, not last night, a couple nights ago in the pasture behind us, there was, it was in the morning when I was drinking my coffee there was a fox.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw one here, Margaret and I, just a few days ago, crossing the street.
Oh my God.
It was a little tiny one running next to me.
Ew.
And I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to keep being normal.
See, and I've never ran without the music. I don't know if I could do it.
Oh, I love,
Yeah.
it's in the mornings, it's awesome because that's when the birds are out before the sun rises. And right when I finish my run, the sun starts coming up. And like, I don't know, you hear like the crickets and the birds, and it's just like a little,
It's peaceful.
yeah.
I need to try it. I usually, my brain's going so fast. The music's.
Well, and then you run fast too because you turn dark corners where there's no street light, and you're like, hope nobody's around the corner waiting for
Don't tell me
me.
what you're doing. Don't tell me what you're doing. You shouldn't be doing that at night. But anyway, she loves to torture me. All right, so
Well, just in case you're interested in the Louisiana Marathon,
Yeah.
it's been scheduled, and it'll be on the 18th of January
can you put it up?
next year. Yeah, let's see if I can put that up here. I think I can.
18th.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, so it's 7 months, 26 days away, which is plenty of time.
Plenty of
to
time.
train for it.
Well, do they do the 10K there too?
Let's see what they do.
They do
a 4.5, and I know they had a 5K one time.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a 10. I think they have a 5.
Oh, well, I'll just have to do the 5.
Yes.
So now we have to find somewhere else to go.
Well, No, we were talking about going to Nashville.
It's the Rock and Roll Marathon in Nashville was the one we were looking at. I want to say it was in April.
Is that kind of hot?
It said the average degrees was 75.
That's hot.
I like the heat when I run. I don't like the cold. I find my body hurts more in the cold than in the
Really?
heat. In the heat, everything just kind of relaxes.
But that Louisiana marathon, it's a good one.
It is a good one. They run it really well, so it's
I
always.
mean, it was
enjoyable.
great when we went to watch Dad. It
yeah.
was a really good. I mean, it
It's
was
fairly
good.
flat. There's a bridge you got to cross twice if they still do that route.
Hopefully they put that in the 10K.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
The bridge
What
was,
needs to be there directing
Yeah.
her this way?
the bridge was nothing
The group.
starting out, but it was a little bit harder to negotiate on the way back.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh.
But races in Louisiana, the nice thing about them is they are flatter.
Yes.
And if you go to almost any other place but Florida or maybe Houston, the races are going to have some hills in it inevitably because every place else is hilly. So
What about New York? I wonder if New York would be hilly.
the only problem, those are interesting things. And if you're trying to mesh it in with a tour or a trip, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But some of these races have so many people that it's just not fun.
It's like a nightmare.
Who wants to be in a race with 40,000?
Not me.
I don't go for that.
I can't stand that.
But even the
That's
race in New
exhilarating.
Orleans. What is it? The
No.
big race they have in New Orleans.
Crescent City.
Crescent City Classic.
Yeah,
comes-
I can't do it with all those people. It get on my nerves with all those people.
Nobody wants to run with you.
some of these races it takes you 10 minutes to get to the starting line.
That's what I'm saying. It's just such a
it's
pain.
sectioned off. So when I ran the half, they have it sectioned off by times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So,
think you're going to run
right.
down here.
Stand here. So you can kind of,
Really?
we just put you in the back.
Put me in the back. Put me in the back.
Well,
You might have to run an
5K,
extra
it doesn't
mile
matter.
because you're so far back.
I'm so far back. I do. Well, I don't care as long as somebody's like, I don't like anybody
No,
pushing
what she
me.
would say is, Troy, drop me off at the front. I'm not waiting with all these people.
Yeah, well, honey, your mom, she ran races back in the
Oh,
day.
yeah, she
too.
did.
She ran in the River Road Run, which was a big race here in Baton Rouge for 2 decades. It was a 10K, which would be right up your alley. And I wasn't running in the race that she ran in. I was watching. So I caught her at the 3-mile mark, and she was looking good. And then I ran to the finish line so I could watch her come on in. And as she passed me up with about 400 yards to go, she was limping. And I'm going, oh, no. She got to the end of the race with a broken leg. And broken leg.
Remember, she had the wheelchair.
Oh, yeah. So she had crutches. We had to go get crutches and at the emergency, well, not the emergency room, but whatever, the clinic and
Poor
stuff. like that.
Dee Dee.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, but she looked like a trooper. And that was, I think, probably the last.
Well, you are not
Right,
catching
right.
honey limping across the line. If the leg hurts, if the toenail hurts, we coming off.
But she won a number of trophies.
with me. I'll wrap it.
No, you won't.
Yeah.
I will have my wrap.
I think she was, just being nice to me because I would like to go in a race and we would make a weekend out of it and go somewhere, go to Clinton and go run in a race up there or whatever. I ran an interesting 5K one time. I don't know if you remember this, but we were at the beach and I took off and went out of state from Florida into Alabama and ran in the possum trot run. And it was a
Heard of
5K in
that.
a really remote, backwoodsy kind of area.
Ugh.
And they had a little festival going on with the fiddle players and everything else. It was a little weird.
Y'all were doing all that running. I remember that. Y'all were doing all that running when I was in high school. And when y'all left, I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I hope they get really good at this.
Yeah.
Keep leaving.
Yeah,
Set me free.
set me free.
Yeah. Good time. Yeah,
Ryan would never consider running any of these. With me.
No.
They have maybe after a run of marathon, I was looking at the Spartan races too. So that's like you
What's that?
or on the ground, like climbing through mud,
Oh,
climbing walls.
like the spillway run?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. I tried to do at the little playground. They had the little football course. I don't like it. I don't like
I would pay a certain amount of money to witness it.
I
I'm okay.
hate that.
I'm okay getting sweaty. I'm not okay getting dirty and cut.
Oh yeah. It's a grueling race. I don't think it's that far.
Darren said he ran that when he was young.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really cool race.
Yeah.
It's very hard. So maybe, I don't know, I was already looking at a different challenge.
Maybe you can do like what was it?
Or
The Rocket Chick?
Well,
that
I
did
had
that?
well, I thought about doing
triathlons?
triathlons, but the thought of swimming in open water
No, you can swim in. I think they do it in a swimming pool.
Well, it depends on the race.
Yeah.
The
think
big
some
ones
of them-
are all open water, and
And-
it's like what 2 or 3
No,
miles.
what you eat-
jellyfish.
jellyfish, sharks, all the things. No.
I can't, for me, I'm too out of control in a big body of water, and I don't like that feeling.
Mm-mm.
Now
don't know
the
how many-
biking, I like.
Yeah, I don't know how many biathlons they have. I was in one biathlon one time, and it was a short one. Nothing like the half, not even the half Ironman. It was like 14 or 15 miles of bike, and then you got off and ran a 5K, which was kind of cool. And it was, the whole thing fit inside of, an hour and a half or less, but tell me, getting off the bike and trying to run is weird.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, they say that's the hardest transition.
I can't even imagine.
From
The
bike
legs
to
don't want to go
running
that way.
because your legs are like stuck.
Oh, I can't. I know. I don't. I'm on a bike, and then I try to do.
Well, and then you have to do it like you swim and then you're soaking wet and you have to keep going.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's a whole nother beast in Ironman. I like the thought of it, but the swimming is what holds me back.
Yeah.
Even though swimming's fantastic for you, I don't like the thought of swimming through open water. That's my thing.
Okay, what is Matt Bersavage asking, Dad? He says, I remember my dad meeting up at Coffee Call for pre-dawn runs with Mr. Vince and others.
Yep, that's
Was
right.
Mr. Harry a part of this group?
Well, actually, it's nice that you mentioned that. Matt, Mr. Vince was the guy that got me into running because he was 55 and I was 38 or something along that line. He was in his mid 50s and I was not quite 40 yet. And he was, we used to get together socially, and then he would say, "Hey, you need to get out there and run sometime," And so he got me on the street running the neighborhood, and it turned on the fever, and I just went with it after that, and I really enjoyed it. So he gets the credit for getting me into the whole thing of running. And I didn't do the runs with Vince and Greg very often, but I did run in the Brother Eldon race. Brother Ellen 5K race that he used to have. He sponsored with Catholic High and so forth. And so we used to
Love Mr. Vince and
Yeah.
Mr. Greg. They were the best.
Absolutely.
Hey, Matt, I don't know if you're still listening, but those Chico State Park trips. Oh my gosh. What a nightmare for me.
That's good running grounds over there.
Nikki, because I love Nick, but I had, and Belinda. Oh my gosh. But those, I never took my kids camping.
Well, how there for another day. There is the story
Girls.
of Allie, Emmy, and I before going to college. Emmy was going to run at Tulane. Allie was going to run at Southeastern. I was going off.
You were going to Southeastern.
I mean, sorry, I was going to Southeastern, and Allie was going off to Northwestern. And we decided we were going to go do our long run in Tunica Hills.
and got lost. And got lost. The Rangers had to come
The
get
Rangers, we were lost for hours, 6 to 8 hours in Tunica, and it was turning nighttime. And it's a whole story, but that was a whole nother running adventure.
Yeah. Don't ever run in Tunica.
And just stay on the course.
Oh my gosh.
It's better to stay on the course.
Yeah.
But
Country people don't care about the course.
we are so used to going. We had cross country camp over the years in college, and
Which way do I turn?
yeah, you just keep running. You don't ever stop. So
Right.
I've probably done half marathons multiple times in my college training, for sure.
Oh yeah. You put in many miles.
The amount of miles I would put in over
Yeah.
the summers would be intense. So
And that's another thing to remember now is you got to pace the training of any of these things so that you just don't get hurt doing the training, and
Right.
you never can do the race. So old muscles, get hurt more easily than younger muscles.
discipline.
I know.
Don't push yourself. No one cares.
Yeah.
That's what I have to tell myself.
No
No
one
one cares.
Nobody cares.
I-
Tell myself that. I know.
Well, you also weren't conditioned in college. I mean,
No.
I watch my watch the
Yeah.
whole run. So I have to really tell myself constantly,
Yeah.
pace doesn't matter, pace doesn't matter, pace doesn't matter, because I'm obsessively, oh my gosh, 8 minutes, that's so slow. Easy runs were like 6:40 pace in college, so it's a whole like mindset. And I did it for the half, and it was really enjoyable. And I was like, wow, this can be fun and not so painful, so
It is fun to just do a run. My run was fun. But Matt, you're right. Those 40-year-old memories. Good Lord.
Yeah.
It was the best. That was the best group. It really was.
That's the hard thing to think about. It's going to be about 40 years since I picked up running.
Oh my gosh, isn't that crazy? But like that was a good group y'all had, Dad. I loved all the parents and I loved all the kids. So that was a special
Good
little
times
group
all around.
all around. It really was. But anyway,
So we're not sure how serious any of us really are, but I think I measure that Lindsay's pretty serious.
Lindsay is, and I'm gonna commit to the 10.
Will be
So,
continued.
yeah.
We will live stream this live stream.
ran two 5Ks, and one I practiced for, and the other I just went out and did it.
Yes,
So-
you can do that with a 5K.
Yeah, but you can't
You
with
can't with anything else.
You see, you know how they get the mule to pull the cart by putting a carrot in front of it that hangs in front of
They
it.
have to do that.
You need to find some
Yes.
outfits or some
Shoes. Show them your shoes today.
glasses.
She had beautiful shoes on today.
You can pull her through.
Yeah,
the
if you hang these shoes, can they? I don't know where. How do?
There they are. There you go. We can see them.
See,
Yeah. Look at that.
they're like
Maybe we can bejewel your tennis shoes.
Yeah,
And it'll make you feel better about running in a cute
Those look like
outfit.
Dorothy's shoes.
Running outfits
They
and
are.
those shoes always make you feel like good for a week.
Yeah,
at
because I got
least.
you those Dunkin' Donut
Yeah.
ones. Yeah. But anyway, so I guess we need to start wrapping it up.
Yeah, we're going to keep you posted about the level of seriousness that ebbs and flows amidst all of these crazy people. But I'm pretty sure Lindsay's going to stay serious about it. So,
Yeah, I'm ready.
yeah,
Yeah.
keep pouring that on.
And then I wanted to mention one other thing too. Hold on, Dad.
Sure.
But if I can't, is it Michael? Is that the name of
I
it?
think so.
We have a new men's store. Hold on, and I'll make sure it is. It's in Prairieville, and it's over there across from the Walmart, and they have the Merle Norman in that little shopping center, and it's called Michael David Menswear. And we don't have a menswear. We don't have nice stuff. I'm talking really nice lines of clothes. We don't really have a men's store out there. So
Good name brands. Really good name brands.
good name brands. The best people in the whole wide world. Love Austin, the owner. Love his family. Love his mom. Love his sister. Go check it out if you're over that way. I love to, yeah, Dad, if you can pull it up. I love to buy local. I love to support all of our local Baton Rouge. That's part of the reason kind of we do this show, huh, Dad? Because we kind of love showing our community, supporting our community, because our community kind of gets a bad rap sometimes, but Baton Rouge is great. Prairieville's great. All the surrounding areas are great. We've got a bunch of great people live here.
Yep.
So if you can go by, look them up, follow them on Facebook, and
Yep, they opened a couple of days ago.
had a soft open, and
That's
it's
right.
open. But they're having their grand opening, I think, June 6th. They're going to start getting more clothes in. So, but definitely go check it out. And then let's not forget Haspel's. Oh yeah, we're still going to show that some. But let's not forget about Haspel's too.
Okay, let me bring them back up then.
That's tomorrow on the 22nd at the Chris's Specialty Meat.
6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and get yourself, if you don't have a Haspel seersucker suit, you need to get one.
G-Paul.
G-Paul, we're going to get him on it.
Julie Long says buy one.
Yeah.
Buy two.
Mom said, I'm going to buy you a seersucker suit for my birthday.
She thinks he's going to be
That's
so
desperation.
handsome.
Hey, President, Dad getting a nice seersucker
He does
suit.
need some summer
He
and
does.
spring
Hey,
clothing.
not a fashion statement, okay?
Okay, but we're going to, so.
You're
but
now
anyway.
on the show, so you must.
You must get one. But anyways, but thank you for for tonight. I thank you for being on tonight. And
You're welcome.
I know you're so busy with everything, but talking about the marathons, I think it's something a lot of people think about doing, or half marathon. Running. People love to run. I like to run. I really
Now's the
does.
time to start planning because you're about 7 or 8 months out.
Correct.
So
yeah.
we gotta, and I'm not a planner, but we're gonna plan. We're gonna do something, and we will revisit this again in maybe a couple of months. and
Maybe
see how
check
things.
in and see where we're at in a couple of
Yeah,
months. All of us.
Maybe October.
Yeah.
If we're on crutches, we didn't do too well with the training.
Yeah.
Broken foot anymore, so I don't have an excuse.
No
So,
excuses.
no excuses.
All right. Well, we love y'all, and we hope to see you in the next coming weeks with an update on this story, plus some other guests that we're working on too. So y'all all take care. Good night. Bye bye.
Right.